United States, and you'll find Connecticut.
Take a look at the map of Connecticut, and you'll see the place of my birth.
It's the grandest place on earth. Willimantic, Willimantic, my hometown. There's a good main street where good neighbors meet. Miles of smiles keep chasing you around. You'll be living, life's worth living. Once you're here, you'll stay. We have everything to make a man a king in Willimantic, USA.
Hey, you listen to Windham Weekly once again Thursdays 4 to 5 on WILI. I'm Ken Fulham, the voice of Windham. My co-host today is Mark Doyle, who's MIA again. Hopefully he's doing okay. We'll certainly miss him if he doesn't show up. He's a member of the Board of Education and all-around good guy for the most part. Hey, today we have a great guest. So write this number down and call in. We're live, 456-1400, to speak to our guests, ask some questions. We're also being taped live, so it'll replay on YouTube under Windham Weekly, and you'll get to see the voice of Windham and his guest. And his guest is Windham High School teacher, a first-year teacher, Mike Hope. You might know that name from the town. He's a local family here, born and raised in Willimantic. He's going to tell us a little bit about himself, how his first year went, how things are looking up at the high school, what else he's doing. God knows what information we'll get out of this guy, especially since that Board of Ed guy, Mark Doyle, isn't here today. So Mike teaches social studies, but we'll let him talk for himself for a bit. Mike, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Ken.
Thank you. Thanks for coming in. It's summertime, and how you teachers just like to lounge around. You know.
I haven't been doing much the last month.
Well, there you go. I told you I got some projects at the house. But anyway, so Mike, let's start off with your family, where you're from, your siblings, your mom, dad, and the schools you went through here in Willimantic, and then where'd you go? Eastern, I believe.
Yep, I went to Eastern.
Why don't you talk about yourself a little bit?
So yeah, I'm born and raised in Willimantic. My family's been here forever. My dad went to the Windham High and went through all of the elementary and middle schools.
His father is John Hope.
Yep, my dad is John Hope. My uncle's Tommy Hope. I don't know.
Well, I don't want to hear about the whole extended family, kid. Come on.
So I grew up in Willimantic. I went to St. Mary's, St. Joseph's for elementary and middle school. And then I went up to the high school where I graduated in 2016. And then after a brief detour at Southern Connecticut, I went to Eastern, where I graduated my bachelor's in history and social science, and then I went for my master's in secondary ed, where I graduated 2 years ago.
At Eastern as well?
At Eastern, yeah.
Oh, very good. So, Mike, I just got to be, so full disclosure out here, I met Mike years ago. I met his dad. His dad used to coach my sons when they were tiny on the soccer fields. But I got to know Mike back in the day when my sons were playing soccer here at the high school, and Mike was a freshman at the time. My boys are a little older, but he made his way to my house out in Windham Center for probably the best pasta dinners you ever had.
Oh yeah, they were great.
Mine, they were just unbelievable dinners. I didn't eat a little sauce and pasta. Come on. You know, you come to the voice of Windham's house, you got to eat.
Yeah, it was a full layout.
Of course it was. Of course it was. I had Mrs. Tambanini there, my mother-in-law helping me out. That's not Mrs. O'Reilly. I said Tambanini. So anyway, so Mike, so you were hired immediately as a teacher after your master's, or how'd you get in?
So I graduated. My student teaching and master's was a little weird. Instead of 2 years, I went for a year and a half. So I ended up graduating in December. So I took like a month off, and then I was hired at North Windham Elementary School as like a behavior tutor.
Oh, okay.
Where I worked there for 6 months last year. And then I was hired. I applied to a couple of jobs, and then my first interview was Windham in May, and then I was hired like 2 weeks later.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So you finished your first year.
Mm-hmm.
And you taught freshmen in 11th grade?
This year I taught 11th grade and sophomores, and then next year I'm teaching freshmen.
Okay. How did it go?
It was good. The first 3 months was kind of hectic. You kind of don't have time to breathe. Where you go in late August and they give you everything, and then you have 2 days to really prepare, and then you just go off to the races. And then I was coaching a JV soccer too, so I had that after school. So it was from late August until early November. It was I had no time to breathe, but it was good. It was a lot easier than I expected because of the people that I worked with. They were immediately, they came and they helped, and whatever I needed, administration or people in my department, they came, they offered their help, they offered their resources, so that made it a lot better and a lot easier for me to kind of adjust.
So you had a lot of tenured support, I think.
Yeah.
I would imagine, right?
Oh yeah, a lot of my former teachers came and helped. A lot of teachers that have been there for 6-7 years. A lot of people in my department, they immediately offered their lesson plans, their resources, so it was a lot easier to kind of adjust to it.
How did it feel to be a student there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And not that long ago.
Yeah.
And now have to work with all these young kids.
It's hard to adjust. It's hard to be in charge of kids. It took me a month to kind of really get my footing where I'm the person in charge. I got to kind of set the tone. But it was a quick adjustment, and it was relatively easy once the end of September happened.
So how were the students? Were they oh, this guy's young, let's see what we can do to him?
I think in the beginning, yeah. I think with any new teacher, if you don't know them, you kind of test your boundaries. But I think early on they kind of figured out, oh, I'm not gonna put up with it, and they, as the rest of the year went on, they were good.
Yeah.
They didn't really test me as much as.
How many kids did you have in a class?
Ooh, that varied. So
Average
probably 15, 16.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, so they were pretty small classes, or decent sized classes. My smallest was a first period class, and there was 6 in it, and then my largest was 22. So, and then the rest were 15.
That's bad. And so you had, I would imagine, Pam Cavanaugh, Pat Risley,
Mm-hmm.
and I forget the other vice principal's name. As an administrative team, they were right there for you.
Oh yeah, of course. From the first day they were there offering help. If I needed anything, especially Pat and Pam, they would, hey, do you need anything? Come to my office. We can talk it over. So they were there from the very beginning, helping me out. If I had any questions, trying to, have solutions to it. But so yeah, from the very beginning, they were there, willing to help out.
Yeah. No, I think the high school has a great administrative team, and I know they're there to not just they're there for all the teachers and the families, but they're there for the students' behalf, and they want success. Now, another question I have for you is, how do you like how that renovation came out?
Oh, it's beautiful. It's a whole new school.
Isn't it?
Yeah. It's the only thing that's the same is the layout on the top floor, but other than that, it's I didn't recognize it when I walked in. I got lost a little bit on the first day. There's they took out a stairway that's above the main office, and for the first month, I was turning the corner to go downstairs, and there was just an office there. So that was hard to adjust to, but
That was just a test for you.
yeah, it was Pam's office too. So I turned and Pam would be there, and I'm like, oh. But no, it's really nice. All the classrooms, they have new furniture, they have smart boards, whiteboards. So overall,
Yeah.
it's really good.
I think that's going to help with morale. It did at the middle school, now opened up. As long as the kids continue to respect the new facility, it should last a long time. It's quite an investment from the community. But so your curriculum and your material, did you kind of master that? Did you work on that? Because most people don't get the life of a teacher. It's they think you go in at 7, you're home at 3.
Yeah.
No.
That's
Once
not
you typical day once you get going.
So I wake up. So I get there we're supposed to be there 7. I get there usually 6:30, 6:45. In the beginning of the year, I was getting there 6:15. I usually
Then you started to slack off.
Yeah, I started slacking off.
Yeah, once you get that tenure, you're all set.
Yeah, once I get 3 months in, you're I don't need it. I can come only 10 minutes early. So I make copies, kind of get everything ready, and then first period, the kids come in the building at 7 o'clock, so you greet them for the first 20 minutes, and then first period 7:20, and then you're off to the races until if you have an off period, which I had fourth period, so I had 3 periods, fourth period off, lunch, and then fifth period, sixth period off, and then seventh period.
So at the end of the day, besides coaching, let's forget the coaching for a minute. you end up going to, you go home, you kind of breathe a minute, and then what? You got to, especially your first few months, you've got to be looking at your curriculum for the next day, your lesson plans, and
Yeah. I usually actually would stay at school. I'd stay till a lot of days, like 4 or 5. I'd do, set up for the next day so I'm ready for the next morning. And that's kind of why I started going in at like 6:45, because as time went on, I stayed later during the day. So I'd do that, I'd go home, kind of catch my breath, and like maybe like 7 or 8 correct some papers, and then in bed by like 9:30, 10. So.
Okay, I'm going to stop you for a minute, Mike, because unbelievable. It's like a ghost. My co-host decided to come in.
Well, yeah, I heard you struggling on the air, Ken, so I knew I had to make it in.
No. There was no struggling until you took the oxygen out of the room.
And I heard that music that we started with. It's just
Yes, I love that music.
very sad, very sad.
People have called in and said, thank God you're not playing
But
that
luckily for you,
stuff.
Mark Doyle, the heart of Windham is here.
You're the heart of Windham?
Because I care about people, Ken. I just talk to them like the voice. I care about them.
So, Mike, this
heart
is
of
Mark
Windham.
Doyle. He's one of the members of the Board of Education. He's a good guy, like I said
One of the
earlier.
senior
I said
members.
complimentary
I heard that.
words, and it was making me sick,
I
but
almost
I
turned
did it.
off. I almost turned off the road. I said, "Who is talking? This is unbelievable."
Yes. Well, he's an impressionable young man.
Well, my guess is that Kelly was kicking you under the table here. That's what I thought it was.
No. That's his mom at school.
Yep.
She had to.
Mrs. Mom.
No, we happen
So
to.
I've joined it. The one thing I did miss is what subject are you teaching?
Social studies.
Okay.
So this upcoming year, I'm teaching civics to juniors, and then we have a new AP Human Geography class that I'm teaching to freshmen.
Human geography.
geography?
Yeah.
That caught both of us by surprise.
What is that?
So that's like kind of how like the relationship between like humans and the environment. So like why did humans like why are cities on rivers? Like what benefits did that have to human, and how we like kind of our relationship with the environment and the earth.
It has to do with tubing, does it? Because you can use your inner tube and
Sometimes.
You don't want to hear my tubing story down that Farmington
No,
River.
you're that. Do not.
I
You're
went there the
absolutely
other
true.
20 lifeguards the guy says he has along the banks.
Right.
And not one of them jumped in to save my life. Let me tell you. I kept screaming, I'm the voice of Windham. What are you doing?
They thought it was a whale that was caught in the river.
But anywho.
What are we gonna do now?
So who came up with that one?
The AP Human Geography. So that is like a college level class. So it's
Okay.
so the for freshmen. So they'll come in and we have like a wide array of college classes that kids can take. So this is the only one that we have for freshmen. So basically what they do, and it's run by some like the college board. So it's like an international or national organization. So they come in and we have to teach to like the curriculum of them. So we teach the class. They come in for the whole year, and then in May, the kids have to take a AP test. So it's a national test that every kid that takes the class in the country, they come in one more and they take it, and they have to score either a 3, 4, or 5 out of 5, and then they'll get college credit, and they can.
So this is one of the AP classes, not one of the UConn classes.
No, this is just straight AP. Yeah, we do have UConn classes.
Right. Yeah.
Where you basically. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, familiar.
Yeah.
But the audience may not be, so go ahead, tell them about it.
So the UConn classes are basically our teachers are trained from UConn, and they run the class as a college class. So they go in and they do like exams that are similar to college. They learn the content of, depending on the class, whatever the equivalent is to that UConn class. And if they get above a certain grade, then they'll get a UConn credit, a University of Connecticut credit. So.
That's really good because we've had some students on recently. The class valedictorian was on our show, and the amount of credits he's going in as obviously as a freshman per se, but by the time he's done with his first semester, he's going to be a junior. Mark, did he
Yes,
say?
that's what he said.
That's an incredible
Technically a
savings for
junior,
the
yeah.
family.
Yeah, it is, and they're all free. Like, if you take the class, you don't have to pay anything out of pocket, and yeah, it's good. But I know when I was at the high school, I graduated. I didn't have 2 years worth of credits, but I had 4 or 5 class credits, so that I didn't have to spend when I went to school. But yeah, there's kids that are graduating 2 years down, and they're already juniors in college.
That's
is
huge.
awesome. Yeah.
And it speaks volumes for, again, I think this show will focus on a lot of different things, but we have a passion for education, especially our Windham School District from our years of service to the community on the Board of Ed. And what amazes me is the amount of kids that graduate with that success, and the community doesn't seem to, no matter how much we say it, don't seem to see that it's happening.
Yeah.
So you're part of that now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming we're going to see you around in the district for quite a while.
Yeah, probably. Most likely.
Most likely.
Yeah.
You're going to be a lifer.
Probably.
Well, that's good.
As long as they want me back.
Well, don't screw up.
Well, I want the real truth. I want the real facts here. I understand that Mr. Folan used to feed you when you were part of the team.
Yep.
Now, the rumor is that he only allowed you 1 scoop of macaroni and a 4-ounce hamburger.
No.
Is that actually what happened at his house?
Well, it was an 8-ounce hamburger.
Okay.
Tell him about the smorgasbord I put out for that.
No, he did. He had a large board. It was
A large board. No food on it.
No
just
food.
a large board.
There was and then the 8-ounce burger. But no, we always went home with leftovers for his parties, and he threw it like 2 or 3 times a year. So
You had to. These kids are
Yeah.
out there sweating
Oh,
and
there's-
with the Windham pride and
This was for the soccer team, right?
soccer team. Yeah. Is there any other team down there?
Well, it's a girls' swim team at the time.
Well, I took care of the girls, but they ate salads. It was ridiculous. Grilled them up some Italian cutlets. It was one of those deals. But no, we used to have that was I just enjoyed that. The kids did whatever, and they had a good time. But so now let's talk about your student population, right? That you experience. Pretty good kids. I mean, I want people to understand because for some reason people still don't get it through their heads what that high school is like.
So yeah, they're good kids overall. There's some kids, but what school doesn't have it?
Right.
But for the majority, or super majority, the kids are all great. Yeah, they're all respectful. You walk in the hallway, you say hi, they always say hi back. I didn't really have any problems with students in that way.
They're getting their work done.
They're getting the work done. Yep.
I mean, if they're going for AP classes, I know that's just that's not 50% of the kids, I wouldn't imagine, but it's going to be a pretty decent number to keep the program alive.
Yeah, I think it's. I believe it's around a quarter of the kids from
25% of the
the
kids,
from the
yeah.
high school leave taking a college level class.
That's important. That's because we
Yeah.
want to make sure Doyle keeps that in the
And,
budget.
and most of them take many more than just one. as we
Yeah,
talked
yeah.
about
There's
as well.
there's usually multiple kids. Yeah, there's usually a lot of kids that have multiple credits when they leave.
Now, do you student teach at the high school, or do you student teach somewhere else?
I student taught at Coventry High.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you
So I-
what's his name there still? Mr. Merlino?
No, he was
Or
my
did he retire?
no he retired, but he works for Eastern. So he was
Oh,
my
Your advisor.
my advisor. He was the guy that graded me when I came in. So I got to know him pretty well. So I was with him because there's student teaching, pre-student teaching, and then clinical, and I had him for all 3. So he'd come in a couple times a semester, watch me
Yeah,
teach.
that was something that John Adama used to do.
John Adama used to do that, yeah.
Well, for Eastern.
So yeah, I think he still does that. I think I saw him last
Now,
year.
did you know him as an administrator when you were a kid? I can't remember when Steve left.
I didn't have him. My brothers did though.
Oh, your brothers
so I knew
did.
who he was. Yeah, and so yeah, but I didn't know him personally.
It's got to be fun though to know that you went to school here. Now you got your bachelor's, your master's already for a young guy, right?
Yeah.
You're good to go. You have any aspirations to one day? I know it's too early now. To get an 092, become an administrator, or
I don't know. That's too far ahead. Maybe, probably. But as of right now, I'm just trying to focus on teaching and getting
yeah,
that
of
down.
course you got to get your
Yeah.
feet really wet and continue to learn and master. I say master your curriculum.
Yeah.
How's classroom management?
It's good. As the first half was,
Are you a real hard nose or?
I don't think I am, but some of the
Okay,
kids said I
I
am.
heard
Well, let's
reputation.
have some of those students call us up right now. Tell us how he was in class, people.
456-1400. It's
That's-
Mike Hope. This is your opportunity
Let's
to
get
say
the
a few words. to
rate
him.
your teacher moment going here. That'd be very exciting.
I didn't think I was, but some kids said I was. So
Really? I
Yeah.
don't see that in you.
I don't either. But I don't. They said I was strict, so
I heard you could
Well,
buy a
there's-
kid a pizza. He's good for the week.
yeah.
There's certain standards you have to maintain. So
But yeah.
everyone can't slide by, like some folks.
Well, you got to be tenured to slide by. That's how it works. No.
Let me ask you,
those-
tenured teacher.
Listen, we need those tenured teachers because we don't want this to be a training ground. In other words, we want guys like Mike to continue to stay within the district to really master their skills, right? Their craft, as I always say, and be able to pass that torch of knowledge without any second guessing or hesitancy on his part. That's what it comes down to, is you got to be so secure in what you're doing. The kids don't, there's an old saying, I can't say it on the radio about baffling people with certain words, but you got to know your stuff. And I mean, I've never even heard of that one though, that AP class with humans and geography. That was a new twist to me.
Yeah.
So your social services. So what kind of social services? Social studies. What does that all entail these days? So it's not U.S. history.
So it's all the history classes. So it'd be like U.S. history, world history. I think we offer a Yukon Western Civilization, which is also world history.
And in like Western Civ at all.
Yeah. I liked it. Government, so civics, AP Gov.
Now, when you get into government, that's when you should invite the Voice of Windham as a guest speaker. I'm sure Pam will stamp of approval.
Yep.
I can go in there and give all kinds of speeches.
Well, there you go. I'm teaching it next year, so.
Okay, kid. So,
Yeah.
book me in October.
I gotcha.
Book me in October. Your kids are going to get bored with you by then.
Book me in November so I can correct all his mistakes.
Please, Doyle. Those kids would chew you apart. These kids would be so amazed by my knowledge
Oh, you're in your sleight of
and
hand.
my communication skill. It's unbelievable.
He also does magic.
Oh, see, that's how you get them. You
Yeah.
start off with magic, and then they're
Right.
locked in.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you. So
For those of you at home
so
who may not realize it, Kate just pulled a rabbit out of his hat. So
better than what the Board of Ed pulls out. But anyway, so when you're teaching social sciences, you're teaching a little bit of each of that along the way. I mean, is you have is the first semester going to be about government and civics? The other one going to be about U.S. history a little bit, or how does it all?
So it depends. Some classes are year long. So U.S. history, world history, those are all year long. So for U.S. history, we teach from.
Not we, like you.
Well, me.
Yeah.
So there's a curriculum. So
right.
from Connecticut, you're supposed to teach from U.S. history from the end of Reconstruction all the way up till present. So there's that. So that's the whole year. So you get all those spots. And then I think they're supposed to learn that in middle school. They're supposed to learn up until Reconstruction. And then civics is just government. So, the foundations of the government, main like philosophers who came up with the idea of our democracy, how our government works. So the three branches, the legislative branch, the executive branch, go into details of that and how they work. And then, so those are the two main history classes that they need. So kids need those classes to graduate. And then we offer just a bunch of electives where, if you're interested in the class, you can take it. And so they can pick, because I think you need a certain amount of humanities credits, which you can choose between, I think, English and history or social studies.
What changed my whole viewpoint as to where I was going, what I was going to do, because I wanted to be a lawyer at some point, but I wanted to be a history teacher too. So it was a class called Problems of Democracy, and that was an advanced class because the Voice, Rhode Island Honor Society, the whole nine yards. But anyway, that class was pretty neat because it took some of what was going current, which these kids should be made aware of because it's changing by the hour in this country, and so that was pretty interesting. But another class I think that the Board of Ed should look at is is public speaking. I remember my teacher's name. Middle school did that, and I was one of Polano's superstars. Believe it or not, the Voice, even back then. But so there's no class on public speaking at all because that's kind of part of civics too, in a sense.
Yeah, I don't believe there is, no.
See, I think that needs to be brought back. Otherwise, you become a mouse. Like this guy here, Mike. He's a great public speaker. I can see.
Trying.
No, you're doing good. Doing good.
But we have like a law and crime class too, which so like civics and like that a class like law and crime, you can kind of bring in more modern or present day like topics where whatever's in the news, you can bring that in, especially with like civics, and you can talk about that. And you just like implement it into the curriculum and what you're teaching. That's
when you got to call me. I'm telling you. I would wind. You'd probably want to combine your classes for an all-day seminar.
There you go.
Before you do that, figure out how many times his wife has called him in to help with classes. Zero. Thank you, Kelly.
So anyway, Mr. Risley, 456-1400. Call in. Talk to your boy Mike here. So
help him out.
So anyway, now, in your very first year, you also applied and became the JV soccer coach.
Yeah, I did that last year.
And how did that go?
It was good. It was a lot in the fall because you practice 2 hours right after school. So you kind of go from, you leave school. We have to leave at 2:30, then you go straight to practice till about 4:30, and then you get home, you gotta do some more school stuff. So it's again, like I said earlier, from like late August until November, it was just like nonstop.
Now, do you now as a teacher, or maybe as a student you didn't catch it, but now as a teacher, do you understand how important that role is, that connection that a student has with a coach or another teacher? It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be a coach, to hook them into being good students.
Yeah, I think it's important.
Did you realize that as a student yourself, or?
I think to a degree, yes. I think as a teacher, you learn it, you understand it more. I mean, I remember, I feel like everyone has like their favorite teacher where like you built that relationship and they were like, it always has to be like caring, not necessarily content. So I think that's important. So I feel like to an extent I saw it, but now as a teacher and as a coach, you see it a lot more where it's super important.
I think there's a lot of kids in that school district who really need that. I think I'm going to say that. I don't care how it sounds. Even a male role model, even more. Than you know what I mean. I think there's a real need for that in the community, and again that links them to the school. The athletics say no, hey, I better get this grade or I won't be able to play.
Yeah.
And everything else. So you did that last year. This year you are going to be the head coach. Is that official or?
Yeah. I'm gonna be the head coach for soccer, starting in the fall, starting in August.
Okay, so what's the game plan?
Win some games.
Win some games.
Yeah.
He didn't take an AP class in that, but he knows about people living on the river.
That's right.
But yeah, so we start in August 18th, and then our first game is September 3rd. So then we're off and then we're practice every day until early November.
So we're getting a good turnout for the team?
Yeah, we have. We still have a month, and there's 40 kids signed up.
Okay.
So you're gonna fill your varsity and your JV then.
Yeah, we're gonna have a lot.
Easy.
Yeah, last year I think we had a lot too. I think our varsity had like 17, and then JV had 20. So
Wow.
it's a lot different from when I was there, when we only had one team.
Yeah, that's right. It
Yeah.
shrunk down.
Yeah, we had just varsity for a year.
Yeah.
Are we looking at some of your last year's students to move up?
Yeah, there'll be a couple that I think they're gonna move up, but we have a lot returning as well. I think we have like 9 seniors, and then we have a bunch of young
Wow.
freshmen and sophomores that are played significant time last year that are gonna play more this year.
And your AD is?
Zach Konopka. So he was the
coach, right?
coach last year. Yeah. So he's the AD in that. That was a lot. So he stepped down, and so now I'm here.
Yeah, it is. Being the AD is a
Yeah.
big job. Big job, especially during this whole construction thing with all the busing because you couldn't play in your own fields and everything else.
Yeah, I think they had 2 years where they didn't have a home game for
Right.
any of their sports.
Yeah.
But
He was pretty active on the
Yeah.
building committee for pushing things along,
Yeah.
and rightly so. Like I said, I think athletics is a huge piece of the high school experience and a huge connection.
yeah, during school he's always running around trying to get things done. You always see him in the hallway just trying to figure it out.
Yeah, I can look busy too sometimes if I want to do it. Don't let that fool you. But anyway, so you're set for your second year. Mm-hmm. Any adjustments you think you need to make for the classroom, for yourself, mentally?
I think I know what I'm to expect now, which is good. I think I got to be in the beginning of the year a little bit more firm with my rules and policies. I think in the beginning of the year I wasn't as strict, so it kind of wasn't.
You got to use the bullwhip kid in the beginning.
Immediately, yeah, you got to start strong in there.
You got to call Mr. Risley in and crack the whip a little bit. Get those kids to know who you are, that you're the boss. They're here to learn. That's their job.
Yeah.
Show up on time,
But yeah, overall, I mean, as time went on, I got it, and it got easier. So
Yeah, I've heard you had good classroom management from your mother over here.
well, she helped a lot.
Well,
She was always helping me out. For the new civics class, she got me a whole binder worth of
I
material.
know. I saw her doing that.
Wow.
So I'm ready to go for next year.
Put together a binder for him, Kat.
Yes, well,
She printed everything out. She put it
Yeah.
in.
it's part of our dedication to the district.
It's part of her dedication to the district. Let's give their credit to Kelly.
Well, you got to do what you got to do.
Right.
No, I'm really happy. I'm excited. I wish there were about 20 more young Mike Hopes who graduated from the high school who found, this gift, because it is a gift, and said, hey, I want to go back to my district. My wife did that. She's a Windham School graduate, and and came back. And I think Miss Haddad from the old middle school. There's a
There-
few more out there.
There's a lot. There's a good amount of alum that teach at the high school, which is good.
I think it's important.
Yeah, I think it's important,
That says a
too.
lot.
Yeah.
It says a lot.
There's at least how many? Like 5 to 10, maybe more. Yeah, which is good.
That's good. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you should recruit some of your friends.
I've been trying. No one wants to do it. No one wants to be a teacher.
Well,
It is a problem we're facing with shortages of people who want to do it.
what areas, Mark, still?
Well, it's primarily the specialty areas. I think special ed,
Yep.
probably in math and the languages. I think languages are also hard to get staff for.
I believe there's a shortage in social studies too.
Really?
I think so.
Who's your department head?
So we have two. It's John Walsh and Brady Stone. So, yeah, I think this was their first year being in the department. So they share the responsibilities.
Yeah.
But they're really good.
How many are in your department?
So there is 8, I believe. Yeah, I think 8. Maybe.
8?
Yeah.
It's not bad. I mean, but so, Mark, on this curriculum, it's like there's no history, U.S. history, like throughout the whole, like 9th through 12. As a class, it just turns into a lot of electives, right? I mean,
Right. We're forced to follow the state regulations, so they come in with as Matt mentioned, the state regulations about the teaching from reform forward, and then we had to get the civics class was another state mandate. We had to include that in the curriculum. They keep coming with different state mandates that we have to work around, and then because of the AP classes and the UConn classes, there's a lot of extra. If you
Yeah.
will.
now is that curriculum all put together for you, and you just got to follow it, or you got to do some
Depends on the class.
really?
So like the electives, you have like a basic foundation for it, and then you can kind of do what you want within those within the foundation. Classes like the UConn classes, the AP classes, you have a pretty good curriculum to follow. U.S. history has one, civics has one. So Connecticut makes schools offer a class called African American and Puerto Rican, Latino and Puerto Rican Studies, which we offer, and we have like 40 kids that take it. That curriculum was laid out by the state of Connecticut, so they just give you everything. So that's a pretty good curriculum, but it just depends on the class. And
That's interesting.
yeah,
And what do you know? Have you ever taught that, or
yeah, that's the last year I taught
so? What's the basis of the curriculum? What is it
for African American
in the Latino studies? Let's
So
say.
it's basically a U.S. history class, but you focus on the first half. You focus on African Americans, so you kind of see it from African Americans, and you see it from their viewpoint. So that is the first semester of the class, and then the second semester is focusing on Latino, Puerto Rican, their experiences in the United States. So that's the second half. So it's split into two, and it's the first half focuses on African American history, and then the second half on Latino and Puerto Rican history.
To what I'm confused on that. To what extent? I mean, I don't know. In the course of studies of history, I've not heard too much of Latino involvement in the Revolutionary War or the Civil War. Where do you jump in?
Usually we jump in. So we kind of talk early on, so like colonization and how that started, and then we
Okay.
kind of come more modern, like the 20th century.
Got it.
And then kind of look at like their experiences in the 20th century, immigration, and how Puerto Rico became part of the United States, and the United States relationship with like Latin American countries. So most of it is like late 19th, 20th century.
Interesting. Did you know that, Mark?
Not specifically, Ken. No, I didn't. I have to admit, I did not know that specifically.
Oh, well, I've not heard of that class before, and I was just wondering.
I think it's within the last 5 years. I think Connecticut passed a law, and you have to, as a high school, you have to offer it. You don't necessarily have to have it, but you have to offer it, and if you have enough kids, then you you have it. And we have 3 or 4
Yeah,
classes of it.
right. There's a number of special classes like that the state legislature decides that we have to have and we have to offer and find teachers for, as well as have to make these kids all be ready to take the standardized testing, so that we can handle the state testing as well. Now, how do you handle that at the high school in your classes to make sure they're hitting the state goals?
So we look at, so they have, they'll have like unit exams or unit tests. They have final exams. A lot of it is, so you kind of base it off of those goals. So like, I think for social studies, it's like analyzing primary sources. So you have a lot of work on that. How do you analyze sources, analyze like political cartoons? So you practice those skills throughout the class, and then eventually you like implement it into the exam. And then
Now, what about local history? Is that an elective at all? Talk about their community and the history that we have here.
No,
Our role and different things.
I don't think we have one now. We used to have a history of Connecticut class like 10 years ago, but we don't have one right now.
So yeah, I think I'm going to write a book on that.
There you go.
And I'll again offer my services as a guest lecturer.
That was at Eastern. Part of my thesis was local history. So
Yeah.
You can collaborate.
yeah, we can collaborate.
Subjects like that are really teacher driven because there isn't a standard for Willimantic history. You have to have someone who is interested in the research, and so we might offer it 1 year and then not offer it for several years because the teacher left or we don't have the same teacher driven
we
interest.
could collaborate on that, Mike, because it's Fall and Hope. Because it's alphabetical.
Yeah.
I don't want to just
Was
upstage you.
that
Okay,
Fall
okay.
and Hope?
Fall and Hope.
Oh, Fall. I thought it was
Si se
Fallen.
pueda. But let me tell you, I think that would be an interest. I bet you get some bites on that class. Right over here, we got the footbridge, right? I mean, which is in parallel right now. But there's history behind that.
And you can incorporate into like the U.S. history class when you talk about like industrialization. When I was talking about that this year, you incorporate like the mills and things like that into it too. So they learn some local history, but not.
You can talk about why we were developed right around the rivers.
Yeah.
Well, they did that.
There you
They did have that class years ago because I think my oldest son was at the middle school. His class took a ride to my hometown in Rhode Island, where Slater Mill is, which is where was the first where they did made the thread
Oh, really?
and all in materials, and right on the Blackstone River. And then obviously that was in the 1700s. Then as we industrialized, you got places like the thread mill here, and most of Rhode Island, and back in the day, were all textile museums, all along the rivers there. But you see that's bringing history to life, Mike. You can't just go in there and read a book. Do you wear costumes at all? This town is big on people wearing costumes.
Next year I will.
Okay.
Next year I will.
There's a promise. There's a promise.
Okay, Mike, and we'll
Here comes Abraham Lincoln. I get to see it now.
I don't think I'm tall enough to be Abraham Lincoln.
No, you're not. But I mean, so I wonder if that class still goes on at the middle school because that's what a picture you draw there, right? You take a ride out. It's an hour away. You go see, and here it is, the beginning. Here's why it's on a river, and that's where thread came from, et cetera, et cetera. And the next thing you know, you're back home and you're going, hey, and they talk about this mill that made this town. You know what I mean? So to me, that's living history. That's interesting. And that's what I'll bring to your classroom this year. Oh, we're going to have a lot of fun.
Yeah, you come like 3 or 4 times.
What I'll do is I'll have, Pam or Pat just sign off, give me carte blanche to go in there and do what I got to do.
Just give you a badge.
No, I'm very much a disciplinarian too, so those kids better watch it with me.
Yeah, just go and yell.
Wow.
No, I don't yell. I hit. I'm a hitter. Oh, God, I'm a hitter. Yeah. Sometimes the state comes in on my action, but, I tell them to buzz off too. Mark is on the Board of Ed, and, he's...
Yeah, I do not endorse hitting.
I don't endorse hitting. That.
I have to agree that we do not endorse hitting the students.
No.
Or the students hitting each other. We don't endorse that either.
No? How'd you do with any of that? No activity this year in your classroom? Pretty smooth?
Yeah, pretty smooth.
I
had a bunch of great kids, and they were...
Well, like again, from the top, working its way through to the staff. To, I think you got a strong school. It just needs again. I ask always to just continue supporting it. It's not an easy population, but it's not an impossible population. That's for damn sure. Because there's an old saying, and we proved it years ago. Poverty's not an excuse for learning. There's that thirst for knowledge there, and if we keep getting quality young teachers like Mike. I think our district is going to have a bright future. I think it's really important that we start promoting
the homegrown teachers. Yeah,
the homegrown teacher. I think it's great because there's nothing more than firsthand knowledge. You know the town. You'll see the kids around town. Craig, we were in a doctor's office this afternoon. My wife, she has to take me to the doctor's office because I'm a baby. And this parent goes, "I know you from somewhere." And sure enough, it was one of her students' parents. And
this was Kelly. She knew Kelly from somewhere, right?
she recognized Kelly. We go to the market. We go here. You go there.
Okay.
People are starting to scream now. Oh, there's the voice of Windham.
Right.
Because Mike, I know you're being pretty good considering you're with a big celebrity today.
I know. I'm a little nervous.
He's humbled by the existence here.
I don't know. So, soccer's good. We're ready for the school year. Because Walmart started on the 5th of July. They're back to school
I
sales.
saw them taking everything down on the 4th of July, so I was like,
Yeah, the commercials are on the
happening.
radio, on the TV, about getting back to school already.
Yeah.
So, Mike, how many of your classes are required versus elective? How many of your classes do the children have to take that you're teaching versus how many classes that they can elect to take?
So I'm teaching. So it's just the civics class. So because I believe social studies is just U.S. history and civics, but I teach this year. I'm teaching 3 civics classes in the fall. So
those are required.
those are required. You have to
Graduation
take civics
requirement,
to graduate. Yeah, and then the other 2 are the electives. So 3 out of the 5.
Okay. And how are you adjusting with that new high school? I guess do you have your own room, or are you one of the floating teachers who moves from room to room?
I was floating last year, but I think this year all my classes are in the same room. So
Okay.
but it's nice. It's
So
really
you're going
nice.
to take ownership of that room?
Yeah, first day. I'm gonna get there early. Put all my stuff down.
Put on your powdered wig.
Yep.
Pretend you're George Washington.
Yep.
Get it all squared away.
Yeah,
If you
scare
get
'em
into
out.
character, I'm telling you, the kids are going to go, "Wow,
Well,
this guy's good."
But yeah, it's the building's beautiful.
I didn't want to embarrass Mike,
and
but
how's the field? So let's talk about that wonderful field you got.
Yeah, the turf, both fields, the turf and the baseball field are beautiful. Yeah, the turf is
that turf came from Maine, I think, Mark.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's some hardy grass up there.
and it gets its use. We're always using it, and it's beautiful. The bleachers are beautiful, and yeah, it's basically a whole new area, stadium.
So Mark had asked a question about whether you're going to be floating or you're going to have your classroom, and I had a one-liner for you, and that one-liner was very.
Oh, let's not miss it. What is it?
No, well, of course they after his experience last year floating and getting lost in the new building, they decided they would anchor him in one classroom. He played soccer and he get hit that ball a few times.
Couple concussions.
Don't say it. Did you have concussions? No. No, only my kids get concussions. One of them got it playing tennis.
Get hit with a racket?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's part of his hitting technique. Yeah, he would smack him with a racket, which is why they all live out of state now. But that's a different story. Tell us about the. I forgot what I was going to say, Ken.
He comes in late and he forgets his questions. This is a great co-host.
I have a list of questions too. Oh, I don't know. Well, go ahead, Ken. I can't remember what I was going to ask him.
So general overview. How happy are you at Windham? Don't blow smoke. How happy are you here?
I'm pretty happy. Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like
You found home again.
never left it.
Never left home.
But yeah, I'm happy. Especially the people I work with, they're all great, and they're always willing to help, and that always makes it a lot easier to adjust. And if you want to go to work every day, that makes it better.
I know, but I was asking if you came up with a solid goalie for the soccer team yet.
Solid what?
Goalie?
Goalie?
Yeah. Guess we have someone who can anchor it.
We had a pretty good goalie. Yeah.
Okay.
He's a big kid. He blocks the goal.
That's true. The bigger the kid, the smaller the goal. That's good. Good thinking. Good thinking.
So the team is going to be full. I keep going back and forth between your classroom and the sports because. Now, where did the varsity team end up last year? As far as whether did they make states or?
Yeah, they lost. They made the states and then the conference tournament, the ECC tournament, and they lost in the first round of both. So they lost to Woodstock Academy in the ECC tournament, and then they lost in the first round to Stonington. So.
No, do you have an assistant? Do you have helpers again this year?
Yep, I have a JV coach, and then I'll have an assistant, and then Zach. So.
Well, I don't know how much help Zach is going to be. But
Well, you can step in there, Ken. You got an extensive experience.
I can only
you can
cook.
come.
Mike.
Kelly can help too. She
You know
has
what?
experience.
You know what? you and Zach put together a date, and we'll put on a pasta dinner that these kids never had before.
I think you're going to do a clinic.
I haven't done one in.
I thought maybe you'd do a clinic.
No. My ball playing days are over. Yeah, but I can cook a mean.
yeah.
We'll make a nice minestrone soup to start. You have to have a starter.
Yep.
Nice antipasto plate, right?
Ooh, antipasta.
For that fall weather.
And we'll do the meatballs.
We'll do a fall weather
lasagna.
menu. Very good,
Because we
yeah.
don't do just pasta. You have to have lasagna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta have the chicken cutlets.
You need the wavy noodles, not just the regular stuff.
It's a wavy noodle. What the hell is this guy talking about? Hey, so Mike, I appreciate your time you took out of your busy summer schedule
Yep.
to be here to represent Windham High School, yourself and your family, who committed themselves to Willimantic. I think that's wonderful.
And you can put this on your resume for your extracurricular activities.
I will.
well,
We'll sign off
he's
on
got
that.
a couple guarantees. One, I'm going to go to your classroom and work it up. Two, I'm going to do a pasta dinner for you. We'll arrange that.
All right, that sounds good.
Okay. And three, we wish you, Mark and I both, a successful second year with the high school.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I know, again, you got a team up there, colleagues, administration, and I just hope everyone deeply appreciates the fact that, especially your students, that what you're trying to do is pass them.
And don't forget,
some
when you
knowledge.
think Fulton, think Kelly.
But anyway, so we only got a minute left. I think I'll let Mark close it out with who's coming next week to the show, and aren't those your friends from UConn?
Thank you.
Jesus.
No, actually, the Yukon Friends, I think, are at the end of the month. Next Thursday, we're trying to line up either the library or the rec department so we can talk about their summer activities.
Let's
so
get
people can be aware.
get the rec department back.
Okay.
Okay, let's get
So we
Deb
can be
Fisk
up
from
to
the rec
date with
department, former
all the camp.
UConn standout girls basketball
Yep.
player.
We'll get the summer
Can
activities
I ever
because
come to your classroom too?
Yeah.
they're putting together a good list of activities this year. And don't forget, tonight is Thursday. For those of you who want to make mosey on down, Ken may hang around for a few minutes to sign some autographs if you get there early enough.
Well, I'm too big for the WYLI table, I think. But
We don't want you sitting on
and
it, Ken.
don't cross the footbridge,
Right.
please. Be safe.